How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars Battlefront 2 ranking video. And in this video we're going to be ranking Battlefront 2's game modes from the worst to the best. Capital Supremacy has undergone a lot of changes in the past few months, with multiple errors as well as changes to the structure of the mode. Now, some might say, why did you not wait for original trilogy content for Supremacy before doing this? And I'll touch on exactly why when we get to Supremacy in this video, because it is lengthy. Now, a lot of you guys requested this, and I'm definitely looking to make more content on what you guys specifically want to see, so be sure to post what you want to see on the channel in future in the comments below. Now, before we dive into this list is obviously just my opinion. People are going to disagree, and that's totally fine. Just go ahead and let me know down in the comments your favorite game modes. But with all of that out of the way, let's dive into this. So kickstarting it off as the worst game mode in Battlefront 2 at number 13 is Arcade Mode. Now, I'd be very surprised if anyone played this anymore. Once upon a time, this was about the only option for offline players, but seeing as instant action was brought into the game, it's kind of just turned arcade into a mode that, nobody would miss if it was taken out of the game. It's incredibly boring, there is nothing to it at all, and it's just a dead mode that nobody really plays. It was heavily criticised when Battlefront 2 launched as an uninspired, poorly done snooze fest, and still to this day, nothing has really changed, and in my opinion, it's easily the worst mode in Battlefront 2. And moving on to number 12 now is Instant Action. Now, the gap between arcade and instant action is pretty big in my opinion. Instant action is not a bad mode at all. Like, if you're an offline player, you just about have everything you need to enjoy this game. Obviously not to its full extent, because the game itself does cater to online players, but for what instant action is, it's enough for online players to enjoy. But me personally, I'm all about the online modes. I'm not an offline player, so this mode has absolutely no interest from me, but not because it's bad, it's just not catered to players like me. And now moving on to number 11 is Extraction. Now, this is perhaps the most dead online mode in Battlefront 2, so much so it actually got merged into another game mode in its own playlist. Now, I do like Extraction for the most part, but it is completely dead. I haven't been able to find a lobby since early last year, and I'm not even kidding. Maybe I found one since recording this video by some miracle, but the odds are I'm going to have to run old footage in the background. This mode has a fun enough premise, and it was something that I really loved about Battlefront 2015, but the success of the game mode did not transfer over to Battlefront 2 very well. There is fun to be had with this mode, don't get me wrong, but that's if by some miracle you can actually find a game. And on to number 10 is Hero Starfighters. Now, this is another pretty dead game mode, but this one is possible to find games in. And it is pretty fun, but it's fun for about 10 minutes. The premise of this game mode was always going to be fine, but without the post-launch tweaks that the Starfighters have needed, because Criterion don't work on Battlefront 2 anymore, Hero Starfighters has kind of suffered. This is kind of the space equivalent of normal heroes versus villains, but it's so far behind its big brother because Criterion, like I said, they aren't there to update and improve the game mode. And when you play this mode, it just feels out of date. It doesn't mean it's bad. There is still fun to be had there, but like I said, it is very short-lived. And coming in at the number 9 spot is Starfighter Assault. Now, this is a really fun mode that has just been totally left for dead. I personally don't mind Starfighters in Battlefront 2, but once the novelty of Starfighters, wore off, this mode kind of became a little bit dead to me. Like, if I ranked game modes when the game came out, then this would probably be way higher, but as time has gone on and the game mode has died out, I haven't really missed it at all. But apart from that, it is cool to test out all of these different classes of starfighters. Flying around in epic Clone Wars space battles is fun while it lasts. And the objectives make for some intense strafe runs, but unfortunately, this game mode just lacks the post-launch polish that it needs. And again, just like Hero Starfighters, it all comes down to Criterion, who done the Starfighters not working on Battlefront 2 anymore. And quickly moving on now to number 8 is Blast. Now, there is nothing wrong with this mode at all. It's your basic TDM, so I'm not going to spend too long talking about it. I think the mode is just a great place to test out your infantry setup. Or if you just want to use reinforcements without the worry of encountering heroes, This game mode, it just is what it is. It's a basic TDM that doesn't really suffer from any issues. So it comes in with a solid placing in my rankings. And moving on to number 7 is EWOK Hunt. Now, I think I have been a little bit harsh on this mode in the past, if I'm honest. It's really not that bad. I think I was just kind of salty that this was the game mode we got when Battlefront 2 was on the ropes and needed bigger, better content. So I guess I've just had like a personal gripe with it since it came into the game, but you know, I've put that behind me and I can enjoy this mode for what it is. All it is goofy fun that throws back to the old hunt modes in the OG Battlefront 2. I do think that EWOK Hunt needs some changes, so it's a little more action-packed, because EWOK Stormtrooper encounters at times are that few and far between that you just get really bored. But the uniqueness of the mode makes up for that. It's goofy, turn your brain off fun, and you kinda just need to take it at face value and just have some fun with it. But now the number 6 spot is Strike. Now I really wish that this mode wasn't so hard to find matches in. Strike was showcased to us when we first got a look at this game back in 2017, and it's kind of just faded out as the game has gone on. So much so that it's been merged with Extraction, which is of course probably the most dead game mode in Battlefront 2, which then again kind of makes Strike one of the deader game modes in the game as well. So even DICE were like, yeah, this mode is dead, and it really sucks because I always really enjoyed Strike. I thought it was always really solid and a lot of fun on the smaller scale. And it actually could get pretty intense at times, like the round style of the mode is always interesting, and it just makes this game mode feel different to other small scale modes. And the fact that each planet feels different, it kept it reasonably fresh. But that wasn't enough to keep this game mode from dying out and being put in the category of dead game modes in Battlefront 2. But coming into the top 5 now is Hero Showdown. Now I've actually grown to kind of appreciate this mode over time. It's the mode that lets you just duel it out. There are people that play this mode that, you know, ruin 1v1s, and, you know, those people suck. But when you can have just straight up 1v1s uninterrupted, you get to see a whole new side of the heroes you're using and how they match up against other heroes. The round system makes it, you know, more interesting and really adds some stakes to the duels. Like if you're down 2-0 and it's up to you to win your duel to keep the game alive, it gets really intense and it's pretty fun. Now I'm not gonna lie, I never used to like this game mode at all, but I have to say, it's actually really good when you give it a good chance. It's just something really different and it gives you a really good opportunity to showcase your skills with the heroes. And moving on now to number 4 is Co-op. Now, I think Co-op was one of the biggest surprises when it was released a few months ago, considering there's only a few actual players in the lobby at any given time. It's pretty insane because it doesn't feel like it's a majority bot lobby. And Co-op, I have to say, is just a savior to me, because I have to deal with dead Australian PC servers when I need gameplay. I can just go straight to Co-op to save the day. Now when this mode was released, it was just playable as the attackers, but you can now play as the defenders, which makes it more interesting. And of course, we now have the sequel era, and we're going to get the original trilogy era as well. So the mode is only going to expand with more variety, and I can't wait to see how it all pans out, as it is a lot of fun. And in my opinion, it's one of the better additions to Battlefront 2. And now coming in at number 3 is Heroes vs Villains. Now, I was actually almost going to put Heroes vs Villains at number 2, but one thing holds this mode back, and it's not even the mode itself, it's some of the people that play it. If you're watching this right now and you don't stick with your team and you just run off and do your own thing, I actually hate you as a person. That is probably a bit far, but like, stick with your damn team. I don't know how people haven't figured that out yet, that is the best way to win in this game mode. But my personal irks aside, Heroes vs Villains has undergone a lot of changes, as it used to be a target system, but now it's just a straight up hero team deathmatch, and it's great for that. This game mode is so much fun when you're in a lobby with players that have at least half a brain, and also when the game's hero gameplay isn't too buggy or glitchy. Now I know I'm ranting a lot about players with this mode, but it actually irritates me so much with, you know, teammates not sticking together. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, Heroes vs Villains is just about my go-to mode in Battlefront 2, and I absolutely love it. And coming in at the runner-up spot is Supremacy. Now, I said at the start of the video that I would explain why I didn't even bother waiting for the original trilogy to be released to Supremacy before making a ranking video. The basic gist of the story is that I just will never crown this as the best game mode in Battlefront 2 when its matches go for way too long. Now, that is just a personal preference. I'm not saying it's a flaw with the mode. I just don't have the time to spend 45 minutes plus going back and forth with this mode. Sure, it's fun. At times, it's absolutely amazing, but the thing that holds it back for me, like I said, is the runtime. Sure, it may be the flagship mode of Battlefront 2, but personally, I'm never going to consider it the best because I think the matches, they just go for too long, and that's not going to change, and I think I hold a tiny bit of resentment for Supremacy, because it's the mode that pushed Galactic Assault to the side. But even though that might come off a little bit negative, I do love this mode. It is a lot of fun and it is immersive and it's as close to Galactic Conquest as we're going to get, but for me, its length holds it back. But again, that's just a personal thing. But coming in as the #1 game mode in Battlefront 2, in my opinion, is Galactic Assault. The game mode that DICE are completely neglecting and seemingly are just trying to bury into oblivion and make it have the same fate as so many dead modes in Battlefront 2. Galactic Assault has all eras on offer in a 10 to 20 minute large scale 20v20 PvP mode with a ton of maps that are enjoyable but have gotten stale due to DICE's lack of updates for the mode. Now, this is the game mode that is Battlefront 2 to me. It's the large scale mode that just suits how I like to play this game. Like, sure, it can get frustrating at times, but it's the mode that really made Battlefront 2 what it is. And seeing it get shoved to the back like it's nothing, it actually really does annoy me. Now, I commend DICE a lot with the way they've handled Battlefront 2, but the way they've shoved this mode to the dark crevices of this game has actually really annoyed me. But the community is making a lot of noise, so hopefully it gets some love sometime soon, because seeing Galactic Assault get moved to the subsection of the menus, it still has me a little bit angry. I just think that Galactic Assault is the best game mode in Battlefront 2, and obviously that's a personal thing, and I enjoy defending or attacking walkers or MTTs, and I even enjoy the choke points and chaos areas like the Naboo throne room. So Galactic Assault, for me, is the best game mode in Battlefront 2. But that is of course just my opinion. Be sure to go ahead and let me know your favorite game modes down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, then it would be great if you could drop a like, as it does help the channel out a great deal. But I don't want to keep you guys here any longer, so thank you all for watching and I'll talk to you all again in the next video.